This is one of the most uncomfortable things I've found in doing business so far, which is firing people. How do you do it right? Because see, there's a wrong way of doing it. I remember the first time I had to, it took me 2 months and I felt bad the entire 2 months because whenever I see the guy, I get angry and I want to fire him, but I don't know how to, so I don't because I'm scared. And then it's just a bad interaction. In fact, that was the first time I felt butterfly in my stomach or whatever that was, where you feel bad and it affects your stomach. That was the first time I ever felt it. I'm sorry, love of my life, but I didn't feel butterfly in my stomach. But you see that firing someone for the first time, oh God, I dreaded it so bad. Now here's the thing I've learned over the years about it, is when you have to do it, you need to do it, you should do it. Why? It's very similar to being in a relationship you know is not going anywhere. I'm sure a lot of you watching this would have experienced that, where both of you know that relationship is not going anywhere, but you stay regardless. What happens is you are both wasting each other's time. You, as the business owner, you are missing out opportunity on other people that will fit that role better. The person you are keeping because you're trying to be nice, you are not allowing them go to other places where they might fit better and have a better life. I've seen people date for 10 years, break up, and then the person they break up with marries in like a year, and that's the love of their life. Because all this while, they've been in the wrong relationship and it has been holding them back the whole time. So if you have someone on your team you need to let go, you need to let go. Just do it. And it's hard, but you have to do it so that both of you can find better. It's not the end of the world, and the person is going to feel bad, you're going to feel bad, but it's usually not the end of the world. So I'm going to give you some tips to help you do it effectively so you don't create new enemies. Because this place, if you do it wrong, you might start fights that might not end. So you have to do it the right way. Now, number one thing you have to do is you have to be honest and direct. It's very similar to a breakup, right? So when you go to break up with someone, you don't want to go there and start saying, let's take a break, or let's do this, using words that doesn't quite say we are breaking up. So you have to be direct. One of our lines we usually use is, today is your last day in feeling guilty, and here's why. And then we detailed exactly why we need you to go, because you need to actually tell them why. This is why. You need to give closure. So you need to explain to this person, this is exactly why we are letting you go, because of this. Now, very important, do not start explaining too much, because you don't want this meeting to drag on for a very long time. So you have to make sure you keep it very short, very direct, very simple, so it doesn't get too complicated. The person understands why, you understand why. Sometimes they might be back and forth. Keep the back and forth very short so it doesn't make this so long, because breakup is not comfortable for anybody. So you have to do it as quick as possible. Number two thing you need to do, now this one is important because you have to do this before you get to the part where you fire the person, right? Is you need to have discussed whatever the challenge is before that time, right? So you don't just spring up on people and be like, you're fired. I know it looks good in movies, people see it. I don't think I've ever met anybody that enjoys firing. Do those dramatic, you're fired, everybody's watching, there's no need for all that. So before you actually fire the person, have 1, 2, 3 meetings discussing those things, except on rare occasion where maybe there's theft or something just comes up abruptly. If it's usually around performance and other things like that, have meetings before then. Hey, what's up? These things we think, these are the things we want you to improve on. If you work on them, improve on them. A lot of times people do improve actually. I've seen people that day one, first month, I'm like, we should fire this person. And then I have a couple of meetings with them. 2 months later, they're one of the best. So make sure you have those meetings. Give them chances to change or improve before you get to the point where you're like, okay, you need to go. So that way, when you actually now fire them, it's not like you're going to be saying things that they've never heard before. It's something you've already discussed with them on multiple occasions. So it's very important you do that so that the person don't feel slighted that, oh my God, you didn't even tell me, I didn't know these things existed, and all of a sudden you're firing me because of that. So have that conversation long before, give them a chance, see what can put, except on rare occasion, maybe theft. There's also some things people do that just require firing the person immediately, except for those occasions. And most times those ones are really, really obvious to everyone. So once you do this, it will make it easier for you to let the person go. Number 3, there is no need for it to be dramatic, and there is no need for you to be overly emotional. By overly emotional, I mean don't be too angry, Don't start insulting the person. Don't get it to that emotional side. If you're having that conversation, straight face, no emotion, this is exactly why. Because there are two sides of this emotional game. You can either get so angry, you insult the person, make the person an enemy that is not even necessary. Because the fact that the person is not a good fit for that position does not mean that person is a bad person. There's no need for you to make them feel like you are the worst person that have ever existed, right? So don't get that side. The other side of the emotion is you get wrapped up in the emotion of, oh, this person is going, and like, oh my god, it's so sad, let's give them a second chance. Bad idea. Most times, bad idea. It will end up badly. So make sure that you control the emotion. And then if you are the type that you've seen too many Hollywood movies and you think it's a good idea to fire people publicly, please do not do it. There is no need to humiliate people. There's no need to make it a scene. Just low-key call the person to your office, talk to the person, go. Simple. You can later have a meeting, which is another very important thing that becomes necessary when you have a bigger team. You need to have a meeting to talk about why that person was fired. Very important, because if you don't do that, one is you will let the person control the narrative. Now, whatever the person says as the reason why they were fired, that becomes the truth. So you need to discuss with other members of the team. Now, if you are at fault, it will become clear to other people that you made a wrong decision. So that's why you have to be careful that what you are doing is actually right. You communicate that to the rest of the team. Have a meeting. Don't bash the person too much. Don't come and start just, except if the person steals, it's okay. Bash the person. Me, I will do it. It might be wrong advice, but to be honest, thieves have done me a lot of things. But if it's not a case of theft, right, just make it cordial. Explain to the rest of the team why. I've seen a lot of companies treat firing people like such a bad thing that they never talk about. You know, like somebody died or something. So you fire someone Friday, you never talk about it ever. You don't address it. You don't tell anybody why. You create the wrong narrative, because we've had cases where the person still talks to other people in the team and then tells a different story complete from what really happened. And then if you didn't say anything or didn't address it, whatever that person says become fact because you did not say anything. So address it. It's not the end of the world, except you've been creating illusion in your company that everybody we're one family, which is why you lied. Because if you are one family, why are you kicking out your family members? So that whole thing does not work. So you have to discuss it. You have to let everybody know this is why, this is what happened. Explain yourself so it's not a secret, and have that conversation with the team. This is why this person left, and then it will be sorted and you move on, and the team will continue doing well. The person will move on with their life and do way more and discover themselves even more. Another thing, this one is a bonus tip, right? It's something that I just realized that needs to be said, is the best time to fire people is after work. Why? There's just this thing that I don't like, is middle of the day the person is leaving. It just feels kind of humiliating. Like, it feels bad. It has a bad energy around. So the best time is maybe if you close for like 3:55, you call the person in to fire the person, or 4:01 after everybody has gone. So you let them save face. You no need to make it. See, it's very important, because if you make an enemy in this, it will cost you a lot. I've had cases where we fired someone and had to even almost get into a court case just because it was very messy. It was very messy, it was very emotional, it was just a lot of unnecessary mayhem, right? So you need to make it as clean as possible so you don't make new enemies. Also, if you take this advice in breaking up, it will do well for you. To be honest, this can also work. So maybe we'll put in the beginning of this video as the headline, how to break up with your spouse / how to fire an employee, because both ways it works, right? No need to make new enemies. Make it as clean as possible so that you can move on with your life, they can move on with their life. See, it sounds bad, but I guarantee you most times these people go on to do better things. You are not God. You are not God. Your business is not the only business that do well. A lot of time people will leave, do better things. So it's best, if it's not the right relationship, it's not the right fit, do what's necessary and move on, but don't create new enemies. Sometimes you might not have control over it, because some people might just be mad for no good reason and decide to attack you for no good reason. That happens, but make sure you do your best. Also add compensation. Compensate whichever way you can. 2 weeks pay or whatnot, depending on the circumstance, right? Do your best, make it clean, so at the end of the day, your business can move forward and the person can also move forward and do more things. So if you like this video, remember to share, like, subscribe, share with your friends, and we'll see you on the next episode. I will help you grow your business to be as big as you want it to be. Thank you very much. See you on the next one.